Y'all, welcome to the Rotary Club of Fort Worth. We're very, very fortunate to have the extra AV equipment for something that's being done tonight. So they've been we're lucky to be able to use that today for our event. Welcome to the Rotary Club. We'd like to start out with an invocation by Bill Fairley, Financial Advisor, Fairley Wealth Management, followed by the National Anthem played by Harriet Harrell, the principal of the Harrell Group. Thank you.
Well, thank you. No, it may very well be one, since I was not expected to do this today. Please bow your heads. Father, we thank you for this food, those who prepared and serve it, and the opportunity to spend time with our fellow Rotarians. Thank you also for the rain and making up for a dry October in one fell swoop. In all things, we give you thanks. Amen. By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad skies and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs were singing there, they grew through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
So you all say that every week, but nobody seems to have any bats or catcher's mitts or anything like that. So be watching for that. Bill and Harriet, thank you very much. Now we have a visitor welcome with Kimberly Marriage. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Jared. Just playing with you. Practice Manager, Ear and Sinus Institute. Kimberly? Why, thank you. Yes, it's very nice to have you here today.
Very nice. Well, I am not as tall as Tom, and I just reminded him that my last name rhymes with marriage. That's why he's making fun of me. And with a name like Jared, I will apologize beforehand if I mispronounce your names. So please, let's welcome our guests. We have Teresita Maragugo, who is the guest of Cecilia Maragugo, as well as Alfredo Gonzalez, also a guest of our speaker. And we have guest Josh White, who is a guest of Ed McClin. Okay. We have guest Neil Katz, who is a guest of Leslie Shields. We have guest Lauren Kilpatrick, who is also a guest of Ed McClin. Right there. Guest Joe Cortez, guest of Linda Lopez. And Lori Carter, also a guest of Linda Lopez. Welcome to guest Mason Buckholtz, who is a guest of Ed McClin. Back over there. And Grace Lewis, who is a guest of Ryan Percucci. That's it. Thank you very much and welcome. President-elect.
And my name's pronounced Law, L-A-W, like lawyer. Thanks, Kimberly. Now I would like to practice the four-way test. For those of you visiting, this is what we like to live by day in and day out, and we try to do just that. If you'll with me, is it the truth? fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Now, with that being said, we're going to have to do a newscast today, which is great. And of course, this is a short satire sometimes of what's actually going on around town in the world. And there's nobody, well, there are some better people, I guess, but the one in charge of all this right now is Kathy Neese Brown, Senior Director of Development, UNT Health College of Nursing. Very, very brave person.
Okay. Oh, goodness. Hold this thought. Thank you. Shots fired. You know, the blessing was that the microphone wasn't working earlier, but it is now. So, okay, I feel about as lucky as Mike Morath at a Fort Worth ISD leadership meeting. Okay, starting across the pond. Paris police mobilized after the heist of priceless jewels from the Louvre. They've issued an all-points bulletin for Peter O'Toole and Audrey Hepburn's father. Oh, come on. King Charles is now organizing a fishing trip for Andrew off the coast of Venezuela. That was a good one, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. We have a speaker today, that's the blessing. Yeah, Trump sunk his 4th Venezuelan speedboat in the Caribbean. Don't miss Disney Studios' next underwater adventure, Finding Kilo. That's pretty good. They get worse. Yeah, so we get 20 hostages released for 2,000 Hamas fighters. That's the US government for you. We can't even effect a hostage swap without running a 100% deficit. I don't get it. Trump has 5 kids, 3 baby mamas, lives in government housing, and has a mugshot, and liberals still hate him. New COVID strains sweeping the country. Whoever said one person can never change the world never undercooked a bat. COVID? Okay, here we go. Okay, now the women will get this one. Apple just announced the new AirPods will translate languages in real time. The nail salon is about to be lit. Right? Okay, guys, while you're getting your nails done, they chitter chatter in all different languages, and you have no idea. You know they're talking about you while you're there. Okay, today TV cameras spotted Joe Biden at a Subaru dealership, trying to buy a legacy. We can be funny without being inappropriate, right? The Cleveland Zoo is looking for a name for their new baby rhino. They threw out my suggestion, Mitch Romney. Republican in name only. Wow. Okay, Chauncey Billups and Scott Foster are in the news. Billups was warned by his wife that she and the kids would leave as a result of his betting on horse racing. And they're off, like at the races. Okay, this summer, a Whataburger employee completed a 26.2-mile marathon by running 220 laps around a San Antonio Whataburger restaurant. It took him just over 5 hours. He still had to wait another 10 minutes for his burger. Yeah. Okay. This is my last one. I know. And it's a doozy. At a local restaurant, I accidentally set off an alarm back in the kitchen. While standing at the soda dispenser, I pushed the press for ice button. That's the news.
I kind of thought you'd get an encore or something like that they'd ask for, but I'm not sure why that didn't happen. You know, thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Okay, next we have a committee spotlight with Rotarian Key Bryant. Key?
Good afternoon, Rotarians. My amazing co-chair, Shanna Saldana, is out sick today, but she sends her love, so I'll be carrying the flag for the both of us. Our international committee, you can change the slide, thank you, embodies the Rotary spirit of building global connections while creating local impact. If there's a way to connect Fort Worth to the world, we're it. Next slide, please. I can change the slides. Okay. We promote global service, international partnerships, and cultural exchange. In other words, helping Rotarians do good everywhere. Quick show of hands from all of you of who has ever traveled abroad for either service or adventure. That should be just about everybody, right? Okay, that spirit of exploration is exactly what drives our work. And here's our, no, hold on. There we go. And here's our 25-26 International Committee Dream Team. World travelers, cultural connectors, and service champions. If your name is on the screen, give us a quick wave. See these wonderful people? If your name is not on the screen, you're still invited to join our committee. We focus on three, I hope that, yep, right slide. We focus on three significant projects, the first of which being the International Newcomer Academy Bike Drive. We give bikes and safety equipment to newcomer students each spring. Christmas Around the World is our winter activity. It's a joyful celebration of global food, music, and tradition. And our current initiative is our World Relief Texas Partnership, where we support refugee families right here in Fort Worth. As a matter of fact, our next event is Wednesday, November 5th from 5 to 7 at Salute Wine Bar. That's where we're having our World Relief Happy Hour and gift card drive. Listen to the keyword can. You can bring a $50 Walmart or Fiesta gift card to help refugee families who are facing food insecurity coming next month. But the great news is our club has already budgeted funds for gift card purchases. So your personal donation would just be the extra. We will make sure that anyone who wants to make a contribution, that it goes directly to support World Relief Texas. So come network, sip, and serve all in one evening. I have one more. Our committee connects culture, serving families, and lives out Rotary's mission of service above self. So if you love travel, to learn about other cultures, or simply want to make a difference, come join the International Committee. Thank you.
Keith, thanks very much. I think it's real important that we are having these committee updates, one like this, where not all of us know everything that's going on about it, and this is a particularly important committee. So we really appreciate you filling us in on this. Okay, James, partner, Seton Hill, James Emmons with an update. Oh, did y'all know we had a golf tournament? Oh, no, I'm sorry. We didn't say anything about that. Yeah, so.
All you got to do is just tap it in. Just tap it in. Hey, just tap it in.
Just tap it in. Just tap it in.
Tap it in. Tap it in. Tom loves that video. I think he's played it 3 times now. And it's a good one, no doubt. But we don't have any videos for you guys from the golf tournament, which occurred on last Monday. But I just wanted to come and give you a brief update. In my view, it was a very successful tournament. We had 30 teams. We had multiple. Yeah, that is a clap, really. That's 120 players on the tournament that day, on the golf tournament. And it was, from everybody that came up to me, they had a grand time. So, but a couple of things about the people that helped make it happen. I have to tell you, I had a great committee, and I was very fortunate to have so many people on that committee that served. And as I keep hearing, you know, we are about service above self. And I have to tell you, these people truly excelled. Tom, Kathy Neese-Brown, I won't be able to name them all. There's so many. And volunteers that showed up that day, I can't tell you how gratifying that was. But we raised a great deal of money. Grace was right there. We didn't hit our target exactly, but we came pretty close. Plus, because of our title sponsor, we really went over the top. So thank you to the Autobahn team. They're here, I believe. Yes, they are. Yeah, that's a good clap right there. Without the Autobahn team, this would not have come off like it needed to be. Not only did they bring tons of ideas and people to help, I mean, their employees got in there and helped. I mean, it just was truly a gratifying event for that reason above all things. But so when you see them, say thank you. If you need to buy a car, go see them. But anyway, they did a great job for this tournament and for this club. Sir. Oh, goodness. That was a very big surprise. You must know what that is. Yeah. Well, last year we played at the Ridgely Country Club South Course. And the 8 under, which we played a shamble, which basically turns out to be, you know, if all 4 players hit a tee shot, you take the best tee shot and everybody plays in through the hole and counts 2 scores. We played the same format this year. We played the Ridgely Country Club North Course, which is a lot different type of course. But in every year, we have a team that has, what should I say? PGA type player, maybe? Not exactly, but close. Much better than us amateurs. But the winning score was a 19 under. Yes, that's right. So I had to ask the pro twice about that to make sure he kept that score properly and did it account for the right numbers. But it turns out that they had one of those, what I call a young buck, PGA type player, and he was really good. But actually they had one of those, but then they had another really good amateur player. So remember, you count the top 2 scores. So there you go. But that wasn't what it's about, right? So, but that was the winning score. What will end up winning is not only the members of the Rotary Club here, but also the beneficiaries. We're going to be the veterans of the James L. West Center for Dementia Care. We're going to have a nice number to contribute to that cause. I'm not quite through with all the numbers. Aurora's got some receipts coming in, and I have a few more things coming in as well. So the final accounting will be in the next week or 10 days, but we will make an announcement on that soon enough and have a ceremony too to provide that net proceeds over to the James L. West Center for Dementia Care. So thank you to everyone for your help and participation. And I would say one more thing. We had more people here participating than had ever participated before in terms of playing, in terms of contributing and volunteering. So this was a group effort. You should be very, very proud of your club here today. So thank you very much.
Thanks, James. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time, and I think he pretty much said it all. So it's we are going to be working on next year's soon, the date exactly. So you won't be able to not put it on your calendar because we're going to tell you about it early. Then we won't talk about it for a little while, and then we'll definitely be talking about it. So many of you may have some questions or something. I'm just sure some people coming up here right now can answer whatever your questions might be. So Social Committee, Brenda Matamoros Beveridge, Major Gifts Officer, Texas Ballet Theater, and also Ed McClin, Insurance Advisor, Champion Commercial Insurance.
Thanks, President-elect Tom.
I'd just like to say that somebody didn't write our script today, but I'd just also like to say, Ed, what's going on with the social committee?
Anybody like to answer that? I'm so glad you asked that, Brenda.
Thank you.
Coming up on the 31st is Halloween, which is next week, right?
Yes.
And we're having a costume contest with those 5 categories up there. Since I don't have a script, I can't really read them.
It's best all around,
And
funniest, most creative, most scary, best couple.
what are you going to come dressed as?
I don't, Ed.
Anyway, so and we will have. I didn't catch that. So anyway, and we're going to have prizes for each of the 5 categories, which will be, I think, gift bags from Trader Joe's, possibly.
I don't have a script.
I don't either. And anyway, so that'll be fun. Come dress up and be scary and be creative and win a prize. And next we have on July, what am I? getting that from, November 5th. West Side Story at Casa Manana, and Lindsay Russian is here, and we have flyers on the table. Tickets are $45. The deadline is October, next Friday, Halloween again. And so buy your tickets now. There's only a limited number, and if anybody's been before, it's always a good time. Anything else, Brenda?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thank
That's
you.
the committee update. I'm so glad y'all are here and so glad you asked that. Back to you, President Tom.
I knew they could do it. I knew they had answers. Next, we have a new member introduction, Don Click, owner-broker Don Click Real Estate.
Good afternoon. It is my honor and privilege to get a new Rotarian in, and the important thing to start out with is he is a TCU MBA graduate. Go Frogs. He's also been in the military for over 20 years, and for the last 12 years has been active in the reserves at Carswell, or NAS, Joint Reserve Base. Get my pen. He's the founder and CEO of the Realty Pro Shops, an entrepreneur. He has been a senior intelligence analyst, part of the service in the U.S. Marine Corps. He's got a wife that is a captain and a nurse in the Army, and he has 5 kids. And in community service, he represents one of 10 in the Fort Worth City Council and north of 820, so he's already active in the community, and glad to have another member of the Veterans Committee, Councilman Charlie Lordsdorf. Thank you.
Well, so one, thank you for having me, Don. I appreciate it. I kind of feel like I'm cheating a little bit because this has been like a 3-year process joining. I'm proof that you guys let one slip through the cracks. And as I look at it, Kirk Driver, who also helped me through the process, I'm like, oh, Kirk's looking at me right now. And it's like, oh, I cheated on him. But I appreciate all your help and all your help. It really is an honor to be here. I try to make sure I'm surrounded by people that are smarter than me, which is very easy to do, but also better than me. And so that's why I'm really excited to be here, because I see genuinely good people in this room, and I've always been super impressed, most notably with how timely things are. So I was told I had to give something that's like interesting, or he even asked about a war story. I think I'm probably the only one here, except for maybe Kirk, who has used a journalist as a firing platform. Anyone else done that? No, okay, so in the middle of a firefight back in '04, we got ambushed and we ended up in a raw sewage canal trying to take cover. And the journalist behind me was like 6'8", as you can tell I'm not. And he was sticking out like a sore thumb. I was young, unmarried, no kids. So I was like, and it's really hard to just shoot from a raw sewage canal. So I was like, ooh, he has a nice flat back. I was like, I'm just gonna use that. And afterwards, he's like, hey, thank you for jumping on top of me and protecting me from incoming fire. I was like, oh no, I was using you as a shooting platform. It had nothing to do with trying to save you. I was trying to save my own skin. So that's probably one of the most PG war stories I can tell here. But nonetheless, thank you all for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, it took 3 years for this to happen. So Don, if you want to come back up here real quick, I'll take a picture. And so, please, yeah, document this. That's right, yeah.
Years in the making.
Thanks very much, and thanks for all those whose efforts made it culminate to this. So thank you. Good to have you. All right, we're finally to our program, and today's chairperson of the day is Rachel Capua, Vice President, External Operations, and Dean, Tarleton State University.
All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. It is a joy and an honor to introduce our speaker for today, and I'm going to share a little bit of her bio, but I have to say, as a person and as an individual that I get to work with every day, she's not only a good human, but very passionate about what you're about to hear. Dr. Cecilia Marugo earned her master's and her PhD in Spanish at the University of Arkansas and the University of Houston. Since 2012, she has served and devoted her time to teaching and research as a faculty member at Tarleton State. She is a dedicated community member and a global advocate, which has been so fun to learn from her and with her. She's currently working on public health-related grants in particular, which is quite fascinating, and it's really to improve mental health access, but specifically in rural communities. A proud member of our very own club here, Rotary Club of Fort Worth, she has shared her inspiring story as a polio survivor, which is something that we're all passionate about across the region. Yes. And she's also an international advocate, serving as a close tie to our university and for our sister cities, as someone who works with students in our community on global exchanges and promoting cultural awareness. Some of her academic achievements and recognitions were university-wide awards for excellence in teaching and service from the University of Houston and Tarleton State University. And most recently, now she just joined our club, I think we introduced her a few months ago, just recently was already honored with the Paul Harris recognition for her contributions and commitment to Rotary spirit of service above self. We are thrilled to have her sister with us today, as introduced earlier, who's a medical missionary in both Africa and Pakistan, and her husband, Alfredo, that we're so thrilled to have with us as well. Please help me welcome Dr. Cecilia Marugo.
Well, thank you so much for that warm welcome. It's a privilege and an honor for me to be here today, and a really special day. It's a special day to be a Rotarian, don't you think? Yes, today we're celebrating World Polio Day. It is a special day around the world to create awareness of our impending need to continue to eradicate polio around the world. So I'm here today to share my experience, but also give some facts about polio, the nature of the illness, its progression, and what our role, our crucial role is to end this suffering in the world. So I have entitled my presentation From Struggle to Strength, because it has really, this experience, been very hard, as you can imagine, but it's taught me so many things and given me the strength just to keep going in the world and doing good. I dedicated and have dedicated my life to helping others, and if my experience can help in any way to avoid the suffering of so many others, that's what I'm here for. Let me start with a little bit of our mission and what Rotary has done through the years. It all started in 1917 when Rotary President Art Klumpf inspired the establishment of the Rotary Foundation. So if you're new to the Rotary, this is probably gonna help you know where you're at. You can be in a better place today than the Rotary Club. So this was an endowment dedicated to doing good in the world. And this foundation has spent more than $4 billion on life-changing sustainable projects around the world. So we have been doing good, really good. And as part of this effort, in 1985, the Polio Plus program and the End Polio campaign were created with the goal to eradicate polio through vaccination, fundraising, and mobilizing communities. In 1988, the Global Polio Eradication Initiative was established. I'm going to refer to that later. I'm going to refer to it as the GPEI. GPEI. It was established by Rotary, the World Health Organization, UNICEF, and the CDC, and later joined by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. For every $1 donated to end polio now, the Gates Foundation gives $2 for polio eradication. So far, Rotary has donated over $2.6 billion. And I think we just need to give ourselves a pat in the back. Really, we have been doing good in the world. The world is a better place because of us, because of you. And there is no greater mission in life than to serve above yourself and just to commit to something greater than yourself, which is, in this case, avoiding suffering, children suffering, adults suffering around the globe. Since then, polio cases have dropped by over 99.9%. Nearly 3 billion children, 3 billion children have been immunized in 122 countries. 20 million people who might have otherwise been paralyzed are walking today. And let me tell you that that is such an immense blessing. And actually, the fact that I'm standing here by myself before you, being a polio survivor, hasn't been an easy task. So, thank you. Today we celebrate World Polio Day. It's a day dedicated to raising awareness of polio eradication efforts and the importance of vaccination. So what we're doing today is a celebration, and you're being part of it. Not just this club, but all the clubs around the globe are celebrating, and it has actually spread. This news of World Polio Day have spread, and so World Polio Day is celebrated in many countries as of today. It was established by Rotary International, and it honors the birth of a very special man, Dr. Jonas Salk. He was the first to develop a polio vaccine. But what is poliomyelitis, you would wonder? It's such a far-removed illness from us that maybe we don't really know what it is, right? Okay, that's a good thing. We like that. But at the same time, because of this fight we're in, we need to know who the enemy is, right? So that we can win this battle. Poliomyelitis is an infectious disease that attacks the nervous system, causing temporary or permanent paralysis, muscle atrophy, deformities in upper or lower extremities, or death. In reality, there is no cure, just prevention through vaccination. That's why vaccination is so important. How does it spread? Via contaminated food and water or respiratory droplets. And there are two, let's say, kinds, that's not the exact term, but let's just call it kinds of poliovirus. There is the wild poliovirus. That's a non-mutated strain of the virus that causes the disease. It's contained in the vaccine. So sometimes the virus can mutate and actually cause the illness. And that's with the variant, that's the variant polio case. That's the weakened virus in the vaccine. It's called OPV because it's administered orally it mutates and regains the ability to cause paralysis. So the wild poliovirus is the non-mutated version, the one that a kid gets naturally by being exposed to the virus, and the variant is caused by a weakened virus in the vaccine. And by the way, these are pictures that really exemplify what I'm talking about, right? So it's a terrible, terrible illness. How did I contract polio? Well, this is a picture of me. I was months old. Wasn't I cute? Yeah. Yes. I was born in Cartagena, Colombia, South America. It's a coastal town on the Caribbean coast of Colombia. And in the early, actually around the world, in the early 20th century, polio was one of the most feared diseases in industrialized countries, paralyzing hundreds of thousands of children every year. Soon after the introduction of vaccines in the 50s and 60s, polio was brought under control. In the 70s, that's the decade when I was born, the disease was very prevalent in developing countries. And as you can see here, the last case of polio in Colombia was in the 90s. So in the 70s, it was pretty much widespread. And so when I was born, and this is me turning 1, these are just very few pictures that I have before the illness hit. Because the illness hits usually kids 5 years or younger. Okay, so there was this huge outbreak of polio in Colombia in the 70s, and there I am celebrating my first year with cake that apparently I liked, and I still like cake to this day. My husband knows that. He feeds me. Yeah, he's a good husband. So anyway, so this is 1975, so do the count. I'm 50 years old. I'll avoid you doing the math, I'll do it for you. I'm 50. That's when you say, you don't look like it, right? When I was 2, we moved to another town. It's called Barranquilla. It's a larger town also on the Caribbean coast of Colombia. A very nice town nowadays, but by then, polio was very prevalent in Barranquilla, and the sanitary conditions were not good, and I didn't get the vaccine on time. I didn't get the vaccine was around, but I just didn't get it on time. We moved to this place, and so this is me before getting polio. So these pictures, as you can see, I was a happy little girl. I was 2 in that picture, and these pictures were taken a few months before contracting polio. As you can tell, legs straight, arms up, happy. Of course, my parents, nobody knew that a few months later, my life and all of us, our life in the family was going to change forever. Forever. Because polio doesn't just hit once, it hits you, and it hits you permanently. So I was taken to a charity hospital. We weren't well off. My parents, only my dad worked at that time. My mom was a stay-home mom. She later did her GED and studied law and became a prosecutor. She has an amazing story on her own, and she actually taught me perseverance. I had that example, and also my sister that's here today. She's a doctor, a pediatrician. She's a medical missionary. She recently came from Africa. She spent 2 years in Pakistan and 3 more years in Africa. So I've had examples in my family of hard work and resilience and just to keep going, just to keep going. And I learned that at a young age, but at that time it was very tough conditions. So that's what, well, this is a modern picture, right? But that's what a hospital room looks like there. You're not really taken to a room. It's just baby after baby after baby, all sick, right? So I was taken to this place, and doctors told my parents that I had 48 more hours of life left. So imagine if you're a parent and doctors come to you and tell you that your kid is gonna die in 48 hours. So you can imagine my dad, my mom, how they felt. And it was really tough. But let me tell you that my dad always told us this experience that he had. He said that that night he prayed so hard with all his heart, and he saw a miracle happen right there and then, because I was unconscious and I was supposed to die. I'm not supposed to be here, supposed to be here. But let me tell you, 48 more hours have turned in 48 more years of life. And I just thank God for that, and for my dad for praying with all his heart, with all his heart. That's faith. That's faith. And sorry if I get emotional, but it's very special. It's very special. So I didn't die. I can tell you that. I'm very much alive. So I remember when I woke up, I saw my dad and the doctor, and the first thing I said, you know what it was? It was, Daddy, I want rice. Up to this day, I just love rice and cake. So if you want to see me happy, just feed me, I guess. So anyways, after that, I was paralyzed from my neck down for 6 months. And it was little by little, through physical therapy, through several surgeries on my lower left extremity, which was the extremity that was mostly affected, this leg, that I started regaining movement. It was my parents, my siblings, my older brother, my older sister taking care of me. They could have gotten the illness, but thank God they didn't, right? But as you can tell in the pictures, the one on the left, you can see my foot a little bit, well, very, thin and to the left, kind of out like that. And so I developed deformities. And you can see my face also, right? On the right side, wearing orthopedic shoes. I always had to wear them, and metal braces, so I kept falling and falling all over again. And it was very difficult. I was not a happy kid. It was a very difficult childhood, from hospital to hospital, from physical therapy clinic to another, because I had to keep changing, because they eventually got lazy, and my mom had to take me to another one, and it was just very difficult. Transportation was very difficult. Carrying me in a public bus, everything was just very complicated. But little by little, and thanks to the support I had, that's my older sister Teresita here, and my dad, he passed away in 2001 to cancer, sadly, prostate cancer. But he got to see me do some things. Would have loved for him to see me doing all this that I have done, but my mom is still alive, and she has seen a lot. So I did physical therapy for 12 years. This is a picture of the local newspaper. A journalist was reporting on polio cases, and And that's probably the only picture I have of me doing exercises. And again, you can see my face. Just a very, a very sad kid. The emotional trauma that comes with the physical trauma, I don't know what's the hardest thing to deal with, to be honest, because it comes together, right? So I developed a childhood depression. I didn't understand why I looked different, why I had to go through that. It's questions that I found later in life, and I found meaning to my life, and that's been very healing for me. But at that time, it was just very, very difficult. I went through 3 surgeries in Colombia, 2 in the US, and bullying, right, at school. So kids would just make fun of me, the way I walked, and really, what you see in the picture there is what we want to avoid. Kids going through this around the world, and many are actually going through it as we speak, and we want to stop that. We need to stop that. So I learned resilience, perseverance. There were happy moments. My younger sister was born when I was 6, and that was such a blessing because now I was taking care of somebody else. So the attention was removed from myself, and now I'm taking care of her. So I made her laugh. And of course, food. If there was food around, I was happy. But yeah, so my sister Diana was such a blessing in our family. And I have to say here, my sister Teresita was one of my greatest encouragers. She was 9 years older than me, and she was just telling me when we were coming here, I never saw you as a sick child. I always believed in you, and she always encouraged me. And she told me, I believe in you. You can do this. You can go up those stairs. You can take the bus by yourself. You can do it. So I owe much to what I am to her. Thank you. Gracias. Te amo. So I learned that if I just fell, I had to get up again. And I just had to continue going. So little steps took me to where I am today. Little victories, everyday victories. And that's what I tell my students. Success is not measured in these long time goals. It's every day, every assignment you submit, every time you get up after you fall, that's success. And that's a victory. Don't take it for granted. So success times. I learned that I was actually intelligent, that I had something up here, because for many years I thought I was not. I had very low self-esteem. I realized I was good at languages, so I decided to major in French and English. And so I graduated. My dad got to see that before he passed. And so fast forwarding, I decided that I was smart enough to pursue graduate studies in the US. And let me tell you, I just had this strong desire to come to America to study. And this country has been the greatest blessing in my life. It's welcomed me with open arms. It's given me world-class education and the best health service and all the help I've needed, I've received in this country. So to that, I'm forever grateful to America for welcoming me and just giving me this opportunity to be here before you, talking to you today. So through teaching assistantships, I did my master's and PhD and graduated. Then this was the first big award, wide award at the University of Houston, the best teaching assistant of the year. And I could just smile and be grateful and continue to do well. Then fast forwarding, I was hired by Tarleton State University, great institution, to be a professor of Spanish, and I've developed a translation and interpreting track, and our students, medical interpreting students, get trained at Cook's Children's Hospital. It's an internship that we have for our medical interpreting students. And I just try to inspire them as much as I can that if I could do it, you can do it. You can do it. You have everything to do well in life. You just have to decide and believe that you can. Don't let the circumstances, not even illness, can defeat you when you know what your goal is and you just keep working hard at it. So that's what I try to instill in my students, in my classes, and some other recognitions for teaching and service. So it's been great. It's been wonderful. And you know who's been there? My mother. My mother was there for my graduations, for my awards, and it's been very healing for her because this has been very difficult for her. And just seeing me do well has been restorative for her. But you would say, okay, that's a great story, it's all over. It's not. There is something called post-polio syndrome. So polio is such a destructive illness that it doesn't end when a person first contracts it, but about 40 to 80% of people develop PPS, and it happens after the first 10 years of initial infection. There is muscle weakness, respiration problems, and millions of people are going through it right now, and I'm actually going through PPS. I had to do surgery, undergo surgery for my left leg in 2018. And I just knew I just had to keep working hard. And so I went through rehab, and it took me 2 years to get to the point where I was able to walk again without any help. So polio, we can't really underestimate its devastating effects. Until you have seen me alone, well, with my family all this time, but you didn't see anyone special. Well, love hit, not polio, but love. I met my husband in 2022, very recently. And so we met, he proposed in that balloon. He's afraid of heights, so I don't know how he did it. Honey, thank you, I love you. Gracias, Papa. Yeah. And so he did it. So very brave. We got married. This was my dream come true. I wanted to get married by the beach. We did. This was Puerto Rico. He is from Puerto Rico. This was on my birthday, February 12th, 2023. Beautiful day. And then we had our religious wedding here in Texas. And of course, my mom was there, and all my family. You can see my sister Diana, my sister Teresita, nephews, nieces. So this is really a story of restoration. Restoration. What challenges remain for us? Well, the fight is not over. Polio remains endemic in 2 countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Unless we eradicate polio now, within 10 years, as many as 200,000 new cases could occur around the world each year. There are, as we speak, this week, 2 new wild polio cases in Afghanistan. So we really need to stop this. Some statistics, 38 cases up to date of wild polio, a total of 198, adding the variant polio cases. So we're not done. We're not done. We need to keep fighting. Why isn't the fight over? Well, conflict zones make it difficult for vaccination, misinformation, vaccine hesitancy, infrastructure gaps. It's just very hard. Um, as long as the virus exists anywhere, it poses a risk everywhere. This is about the GPEI action plan. They are streamlining operations because they are reducing funding, a 30% reduction. Even with more efficient operations, we'll have a 1.7 billion funding gap for the GPEI's strategy from 2022 to 2029. So with the help of Rotary, we hope, and the Gates Foundation, we hope to raise 450 million over the next 3 years. For what? For vaccination, to pay people, the vaccinators that go to the villages. And I was looking at videos, and most of them in these countries have to be women, because they can get to the houses and speak to mothers. So we really need this help. The Gates Foundation is winding down and will close in 2045. And polio remains a priority for them. The economic impact, polio eradication remains one of the best investments in global health. The cost of controlling outbreaks far exceeds the investments needed for complete eradication. In January 2023, Rotary gave 50 million in grants to our partners WHO, UNICEF, for polio eradication. For example, for the vaccinators, 56,000, more than 56,000 vaccinators, that money went to give them stipends. So imagine a world without polio. We now have the help of technology. We have a new vaccine that's available, a more genetically stable vaccine. And really, imagine a world without cases such as Junaisa. This is a girl that she was 3 in that picture. We don't know if she ever got to walk again. Imagine a world without these kids or these. So we're very close, but close is not enough. We really need to get the job done. And I don't know if we have time for a short clip, maybe not. Okay. The clip? Okay.
Right now, at this very moment, there's a movement happening. See, Rotary sparked an idea that was once unthinkable, ridding the world of a horrible disease, polio. A global community of scientists, advocates, governments, and health workers, people all doing their part to beat the unbeatable, track the untraceable, reach the unreachable. And it's all happening right now, people. This part of history belongs to everybody, so tell everybody, near, far, young, and old, that it will take everybody. Because legacies aren't forged overnight. Making history isn't instant. In the decades since Rotary and its partners started this journey, billions of children have been protected from polio. But we still have work to do. And this part's on us. All of us. Part-time, full-time, full stop. Right now, no breaks, no indifference. You and me. Because polio isn't unstoppable. We are. Together, we end polio.
Please consider donating, making a special donation to end polio. Please consider that. Thank you. Thank you all.
Stay with me just a moment. Y'all, we talk about this, every week. We're not going to have time right now for questions, but please ask her about these afterwards. And we make a small donation on behalf of our speaker every week. When you all join the club, this is what we talked about too, and we continue to keep this in mind. This is a really important day. My mother actually contracted polio and was told she'd never walk again. Of course, my grandfather didn't wasn't going to take that, and built her some braces, and sure enough, she turned into a lovely lady, a water skier, professional water skier, and model as well. So that's good. So this is very appropriate. We do, like I say, honor our guest speakers, World Polio Day. Thank you so much for your presentation. This is great. We appreciate it. So please do, if you have questions, please come ask. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you all coming as well. Next week, Betsy Carlton Cameron, President, Evie Holiday Companies. Don't forget, next week is Costume Day, so you all have a few days to think about that. You better practice at home before you come, too. And until then, meeting adjourned. Have a good week.